special note, we have a surprise for our Patreon members this month. Me and Connor are going to be doing sketches by hand on pen and paper, and we will be sending them to 2 very lucky Tier 3 members on our Patreon this month. So if you want a sketch from me or Connor, go check us out on Patreon. They'll be really good. Connor's a very, very talented artist, as
definitely.
am I.
And
So.
Tier 3s get bookmarks that you make.
Tier 3s also get bookmarks every month, guaranteed. I do draw bookmarks.
They're wonderful.
So go check us out on Patreon. Thanks. Welcome to World's Wildest.
Hello.
We should have started this episode by physically fighting.
Yeah.
Or like you hitting me or me throwing something at you. Today's episode is World's Most Brutal. Yeah, no, time has passed. Thank you.
Okay.
Today's episode is World's Most Brutal. This was a viewer suggestion as well from the comments of our YouTube channel. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nature is beautiful.
Yeah.
Nature is so beautiful and I love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
But it is gnarly sometimes.
You can't know the good without the bad.
Right. Something about rain and rainbows.
Sure.
Sunny days. Anyway, nature can be really, really nasty. And so we found some of the animals that are the best examples of nature being really brutal today. Connor's I feel like Connor's nervous because his research took him to a very dark place. Mine's not as bad. You got nauseous?
Yeah. I left out a lot, especially when it comes to poaching. I left out a lot, but I was going through there and I'm like, what can I use here that's not going to get it like blocked on YouTube, but also like people should see, like it's important for them to see this,
sure.
But also it's bad. This is probably the most interesting, but the grossest. I hated this one the most probably because of the brutal nature of it. Because I like things to be positive.
Sure.
It reminds me of like the shows that my wife likes, or like females like the
crime docs.
Yeah, serial killer stuff.
Yeah.
And like some people just really love it. There's YouTube channels dedicated to my topic.
Yeah.
All about it. They have
that's
millions
crazy.
of subscribers.
Yeah, that's kind of funky.
And I have to think of it like, yeah, it's like the serial killer docs and stuff. And Criminal Minds. She loves Criminal Minds.
I love Criminal Minds.
I get grossed out by it.
Oh, great show.
I have to walk away.
Okay, well, this is going to be a ride. Everybody buckle up. If you're new to this podcast, welcome. Hello, I'm Maya. This is Connor.
Hi.
Connor's a biologist. He has bird of prey experience, lots of wildlife experience in Alaska, stuff like that. And then I have lots of zoo experience. And then I'm the founder and executive director of Alveus Sanctuary, which Connor is the director of operations at. We've been friends for years.
6?
Old. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
So, shall we begin? Would you guys like to hear about some of the most brutal animals in nature?
Warning, right?
Content warning.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get nauseous, click off. Okay. My first one is tarantula hawks. Are you familiar?
Yes. Actually, next to your tiny house. We saw
they're
one.
Here.
Yeah, we saw one, and I was really sad. Like, I actually almost kind of cried.
Oh, you saw it doing its thing?
Yeah. And I was like, could we save it? And you were like...
And I was like, no.
There's nothing you can do here.
Yeah. Okay, so tarantula hawks, this is a species of spider wasp. There's 133 known species. They are here in Central Texas, but they're also on every continent except for Europe and Antarctica. So they're everywhere. They're probably around you. They're all solitary. The biggest one is like 11 centimeters, which I think is like 2 inches-ish, right?
11, 4 1/4.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's massive. So you're saying 4 inches?
I don't know
gigantic.
why I thought that was 2 inches. For a tarantula hawk, that's crazy. Okay, so we're talking like 2 chicken nuggets stacked up, y'all. That's really big. Okay, this is what they look like. Or this is what the ones in Central Texas look like. Really pretty wasp. They've got kind of like a blue body and black eyes, and then these really bright orange wings, which are to tell other animals that this is a dangerous bug.
They're pretty.
Males don't have stingers. Females do. Adults only eat nectar.
Nice.
They
Okay.
pollinate. They go flower to flower. They're eating nectar. Very, very nice and kind. Their larvae are carnivorous.
Oh, okay.
And they like to eat spiders, but not like you would think a bug would eat a spider. They only like eating spiders from the inside out.
I did not know this.
Not from the outside in.
Yikes. Okay.
Okay. So females use spiders as food for their offspring. This is a parasitoid wasp.
Okay.
Parasitic wasp. Here's a video of what this process looks like. We don't need audio on it. So this is a tarantula and a tarantula hawk. The tarantula hawk is going to circle that tarantula. Note, audio listeners, the tarantula is like, all in all, maybe twice the size. Like it's a really large prey item. The tarantula hawk circles around it to confuse the tarantula, goes underneath it to the softest part of its body, and stabs it with a 7-centimeter long stinger.
7 centimeters.
7 millimeters, sorry.
Oh.
7 millimeter long stinger.
Jeez.
So they pierce the tarantula, and then I'll tell you what happens at the end here. It is so crazy. Okay.
He was just like jumping all around it.
Yeah.
And like the tarantula wasn't doing much. That's sad.
Yeah. So they circle the tarantula, freak them out, kind of psych them out, go underneath them, and then like stabby in their belly with their stinger. This is what their stinger looks like. It's pretty gnarly. And they rapidly inject venom that permanently paralyzes the spider, but it keeps the spider alive. Okay. So then
that's brutal. I see where this is going.
So then the incapacitated spider is either held captive in its own burrow. So the tarantula hawk will drag it back to the spider's own burrow, like its own home, and keep it in there. And then covers the entrance of the burrow to trap the spider in there. Or it drags the spider back to the wasp's nest. What is the point in doing this and paralyzing this tarantula and keeping it alive? She needs to feed her young. So she will lay a single egg on the spider's body.
Interesting.
Single egg on the spider's body. When the egg hatches, the larva burrows its way into the spider's abdomen and then eats it from the inside out while the spider is still alive. It does make sure to avoid vital organs to keep the spider alive until the larva pupates into an adult wasp. Eventually, the offspring emerges from the spider as an adult tarantula hawk.
That is awful. I hate that so much.
It's really sad. It's really sad. I saw this happen. I actually took a video of this happening. I sent it to you on Discord space. I took a video of this happening when I did a trash cleanup one day. It was a crazy scene to watch. It wasn't going for a tarantula. It was going for a wolf spider in the grass. Bunch of grass. And then a little wolf spider and a tarantula hawk. And the tarantula hawk was circling it. And the wolf spider was like all small, like trying to look really small. And the tarantula hawk was moving so quick, like through the grass. It actually looked like a nightmare. Like you could put any horror movie music on it and it would have made it like crazy intense National Geographic. It was nuts. Okay, so this is my personal National Geographic footage. Here's me recording the grass.
I hate it already.
See, okay, there. Look how fast the tarantula hawk is moving, and then the spider is sitting there, and then you can see the tarantula hawk go underneath the spider and stab. See, look at him go.
Move, wolf spider.
Isn't that crazy? This is, guys, to be fair, it's not great footage because I took it. But I thought it was cool that I saw this happen in the wild. Sad, but cool. Anyway, so kind of brutal. Tarantula hawk has been awarded second place on the Schmidt's Sting Pain Index.
Oh, wow.
So it is only beaten by the South American bullet ant. The pain from a bullet ant sting lasts 24 hours. Tarantula hawk only aggravates for like 5 minutes, but it has been described by American entomologist Justin Schmidt, who created the index, as instantaneous, electrifying, and totally debilitating. Said that when stung, the only response is to lay down and scream.
Jesus.
Not
Imagine what the spiders are going through.
Yeah.
No.
Awful. And then being kept alive. I think I don't know, like, in that paralyzed state, if they're able to feel any pain, or like what kind of awareness or like stress response there is associated with that after they're paralyzed in that way. But let's go ahead and hope that they're not conscious and they can't feel pain in that state.
Yeah, for sure.
And then generally, like, they're not particularly aggressive bugs, so it's not like you have to worry about them coming and laying an egg on you and them eating you from the inside out. And they're not out to sting you either, unless they're provoked. So everybody's chilling. Don't worry.
There's some in my chemical immobilization class where I learned to dart. I talked about the like how the chemical immobilization came up, and I can't remember the drug name, but it acted just like that. It immobilized the animals, but they were still awake, but they didn't know that.
Yeah.
So when they would dart them down, they would do all the surgeries thinking they wouldn't feel it, but they could. And so they use that on people too sometimes in the past and realize like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, like they're awake, they're conscious, they just can't move. It's a paralytic.
Awful.
Yep. So.
Okay, well, this probably isn't like that.
Hopefully not.
Probably not.
Hopefully, yeah.
All right, what do you got, Connor?
Do I? Okay, I guess I have to. All right. So we know we love them so much, but I might change that. And I hope I don't change that too much. But lions. So Lion King, yay. Okay. We're gonna start with the fun stuff. So there's only one species of lion. Cool.
African lion.
Well, they used to think there was 11 subspecies until 2017, and the IUCN and then the Classification Task Force took them down to 2 subspecies.
Okay.
And in the description, there's a whole IUCN article if you want to read about why they did that to make it a little bit easier. You can definitely look at that. But there are Asiatic and African lions.
Oh,
cool.
Okay.
Easy to remember. IUCN assessed the lion populations in 2023 and determined them to be vulnerable, which is hard to like why would they call them vulnerable when they have lost 85% of their historic range and habitats? So here's a map of where they used to be. So the light red is they're all around Africa. Mm-hmm. They're up in Greece. Mm-hmm. There's some historical recordings of them living in Italy and up there, but there's no confirmation of that.
Whoa.
They're all over into India. And then the dark red is where they're currently at.
Wow.
It's so like sporadic and super dotted and fragmented. So like how they get their genetics to flow, it's a bottleneck. It's a huge issue. So there's a whole justification on vulnerable status that I didn't want to get into. But what's interesting is, so they've collapsed from deforestation, human development, human wildlife conflict, real or fear.
I was going to say that's got to be the biggest one.
Yeah, so it's like there's a lot of fear around them. They still come in when they're like putting out farms and stuff like that. They'll just come in there and just mow down all the lions, just to like pre-protect their goats and their cows. But what's been interesting is they've utilized some solar light technology where a kid in Africa built these lights that they would hang up that were solar powered on their cattle fencing, and it would look like eye shine of other predators. So they ended up leaving the cattle alone.
Oh, cool.
So it's a cool, cheap alternative way to do that. But they've, in the past 21 years, they've lost 36% of their range, which is really, really sad.
Yeah, wow.
There's only 23,000 lions left in Africa and 670 in India. So 2/3 of lions' habitat is below 50% carrying capacity, meaning what range they do have, they could have 50% more lions there and just be fine. Right. Their population is just getting absolutely decimated. So I'm not going to go into like all the natural history of lions. I think people are pretty familiar with lions because they're pretty prolific in zoos and Lion King and stuff like that. So I have that basic understanding. Some of the things that Disney leaves out and some of the things that make them particularly brutal is, and it's kind of counterintuitive to like them wanting to get their population numbers up. So it gets pretty brutal because we're going to be talking about infanticide. Fun. All right. So we have prides. They're made up of groups and coalitions. Females tend to stick together. Yay. The females are usually all related to each other, mother, sister, cousin, aunt, and they will stick around. They'll hunt together and raise their young. Males will form coalitions with other males, roam around and find female groups.
Mm-hmm.
They'll find a pride and try to oust the current male coalition in that pride. And we have a video of it getting a little brutal.
Ugh. Awesome.
Yeah. So in this video,
this is just like Mufasa, by the way.
Yeah.
The movie, the new one.
You can put the audio for this.
All right, we got a mom and a cub and then 2 male lions on a rock fighting each other. The mom is kind of like, seems like she's like, stop it. Oh, there are 4 males.
So these YouTube channels are like tracking these different coalitions and reporting on the drama every day because these are in refuges and stuff like that. So there's no death here, but there's definitely a younger group of males trying to move in, and you can see the cubs here.
Yeah.
The females are trying to kind of help protect the cubs from these new males coming in,
right? Because
they know what happens when a new male comes in, a new coalition comes in.
Yeah.
So if the new coalition coming in is successful and overthrows, then they have all the females, and they don't want to spend their time or energy on raising the young of another male.
That makes sense.
Evolution is
evolutionarily.
Yeah. So what they'll do is, and the females also, if they're nursing, they won't be able to have more cubs, and they are really only come into like heat every 2 years. They only have cubs like every 2 years is a better way to say that. So unless they don't have cubs to take care of, so the males will come in, and most of the time, some of the times the females do try to defend their cubs, but most of the time females just straight up abandon their cubs, and they don't know what's going on, and the males come in and just rip them apart, rip them to shreds. And it's like just not a thing for them. And right when that's over, the females start cuddling up to the males. They start initiating more intercourse, and they have to, she's like trying to build that bond there pretty immediately. And so it's like not a thing in her mind that she just lost, up to like 4 or 5 cubs.
Well, maybe anthropomorphizing a little bit.
Yeah.
Of like, it's not something she even thinks about, like who knows?
You see other like animals take, 24 hours or so to like come to the understanding that they've like no longer have that responsibility. It might not be sadness, but like immediately she's like, all right, I've got to start snuggling up to these males, these new males. So it'll take a few months before the females to get pregnant again. And so it's kind of counterintuitive from a human perspective with these populations on the decline that they would want to kill offspring. But warning, here's a picture of
Do they eat them?
I didn't see anything on the research about them eating them. So it's from an evolutionary standpoint, like pulling human emotions out of it. The stronger males are coming in, taking over weak genetics. Basically, they're stomping out weak genetics. Make sense.
Yeah,
and they're putting their strong genetics into there, and they want to raise them from there. So it's interesting. I guess I'm not going into all the brutal stuff because there's videos like YouTube channels like showing that. And I'm like, no. So that's kind of what made me a little shaken up on this.
Sad.
But well, the coalition of males' job is to protect the cubs and females from any new males that come into the area, want to take over. The females will help a little bit, but they're only going to take over for a few months to a few years if they're lucky. There's constant 2 to 5 male coalitions going around, and males only live to 8 to 10 in the wild, and they're not sexually active till they're 2 or 3. So if you're lucky, you've got 8 years max.
Right.
If you're the most fit male.
Yeah.
So some more brutal things. It's not always the males that commit this infanticide. So The females have been seen abandoning or killing cubs if there are a major lack of resources or there's a deformity or injury.
Mhm.
They've also been seen abandoning or killing single cubs. Research shows that cubs have a much higher survival rate if they're raised in a litter, so females won't waste their time or energy on a single cub, which is sad to see.
Yeah.
Prides are very tight family structures that can shift around a lot depending on what male comes in the region, but poaching can mess up the pride safety and dynamics big time.
Yeah.
Warning, this is what poachers go after. This one was actually pretty gross. So here's a picture of what they go after for the lions. So
yeah, so this is going to be censored on YouTube, but we will have it uncensored on the Patreon. I do think that's important to see, but yeah, I don't think we can put that on YouTube.
Yeah. So it's like they cut off the feet and they cut off the face. And the rest is just left there.
This is trinkets? Trophies?
Trophies, trinkets, yeah. This is
wow.
they go after the pelts sometimes, but these are smaller, so they're easier to like smuggle and get around. Pelts are a lot harder. So that's what they're really going for. So there have been reports of poachers killing off the main male. The next few days, a new coalition will take over and kill all the cubs. One of this males was supposed to be, he was like the strongest male in the region.
Yeah.
And it easily defended the coalition and put his proper genetics into the pride, into the area if he wasn't killed.
Yeah.
So that messed that up. And there's quite a few sad stories of prides getting absolutely decimated and single females being left. And she will just cry throughout the night trying to find her pride, and she never can. So it's really, really sad.
It's awful.
But I want to do like a slight like uplifting, like some fast fun facts about it to end on a little bit more beneficial or like positive note. So I'm going to fire them off fast. Here we go. So the larger and darker a mane is on a male lion, the more attractive he is to females. Lions are the only big cat that will roar together. Roars can be heard up from 5 miles away. Something interesting I learned is they prefer to hunt at night, but especially during storms, because it camouflages them a bit better and masks the sound of them walking around.
Cool.
They can eat 40 kilograms or 90 pounds of meat in a single sitting. And Nala from The Lion King was probably a direct cousin of Simba.
Cool.
There you go.
All right.
Positive note. Fun stuff. Thank you for indulging me in that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Sad.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it doesn't get happier from here. I'm doing orcas. Or killer whales. Okay. A lot of people don't know. This is not a whale. It is called a killer whale, or it's like one of the names. This is the largest dolphin in the world. They are 23 to 32 feet or around 9 meters long. They can weigh up to 6 tons. They can live 50 to 80 years.
I didn't know that.
In the wild. And they look like this.
Nice.
That's a tank of a dolphin, dude.
It is.
Wow, we all know what killer whales look like. They can also be really cute. Here's another picture. Oh.
Nice. I saw one in Alaska. Its top fin was so large, it like went all the way over and touched its body, like flopped over.
In the wild?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
it was crazy.
That is crazy. So killer whales are really, really fascinating animals, and there's actually a lot of research on killer whales. People like them a lot. I think they're really interesting, and they are really interesting. We've learned a lot about them.
Question.
Yes.
Would you swim with one, like in the wild?
Yes. Well, no, but not because they would do anything. It's a me problem. It's me, not them.
What do you mean?
I don't want to swim with anything in open water ever.
Fair. Okay, fair.
I just have control issues.
Sure.
And I have the opposite of claustrophobia.
The openness.
I like being in like corners and small spaces.
Okay.
And so open ocean is like worst nightmare for me.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
But note, killer whales have never killed anybody in the wild. They have killed people in captivity. We all know about that. But they've never killed anybody in the wild. So these whales, they hunt in pods. They have family groups of up to 40 individuals that they swim around with, which is really cool. They have a lot of cooperative hunting techniques. They hunt kind of like a wolf pack does, which is very interesting. There's a lot of culture in killer whale pods, from like language to hierarchy to hunting. And yeah, hunting's a big part of it. So one of their hunting strategies It's called carousel feeding. This is for schools of fish. You can pull up the video. So they herd schools of fish into groups that they can control, and then they do these tail strikes underwater. So this is a video. There's a group of fish that they've kind of like herded into a ball. And then the whales go in and they literally slap them like that. You see them slap?
Yeah. Okay. That's
They
cool.
slap the fish with their tails, which takes an incredible amount of strength, by the way, underwater to slap fish and knock them unconscious. Ow.
I would not want to be the diver taking this footage.
Isn't that? I was thinking that too. That's crazy. This whale's gonna come in and do the same thing, the tail slap. So they'll do tail strikes underwater. It doesn't always kill the fish, but it does stun a lot of them, making them really easy pickings.
Wow.
For killer whales. They stop the fish from diving by going under them. They'll flip over because their stomachs are white. See them flipping over right there? Yep. Their stomachs are white, which spooks the fish, so it pushes them to the surface. And then when the fish get on the surface, they start jumping out of the water because they get so stressed out and they have nowhere else to go. And so it looks like the water's boiling at the surface. Like it's just like fish popping out of the water.
Dude, he just tail clapped like 100 fish right there.
It's crazy. And so then the orca slams the edge of the school with its tail, and they just keep slapping the edges of the school of fish until they have a bunch of easy fish to eat. And eat them, and it would really suck to be in that school. Also, like school fishes don't leave, so it's not like you can escape. Like they all just stay in a ball.
Yep.
So it's like GG's for the whole ball.
Yeah.
So that is kind of a brutal way to hunt. Oh, here's a cool picture, like a drawing of what carousel hunting looks like.
Okay.
Or carousel feeding looks like. Kind of cool looking. Yeah. Anyway, have you seen the videos of orcas hunting seals?
I was traumatized as a 4-year-old.
Okay.
Yes.
There's very popular footage of orcas hunting seals and sea lions. In Argentina, orcas will hurl themselves on shore to get sea lion pups. And they'll time it like with waves so that they don't get beached. Very risky strat. Like beaching yourself to eat a seal and then like going back. Crazy.
That's brave.
Nightmare stuff too, to be like a sea lion. Anyway.
You think you're safe? Nope.
And then also they in the Antarctic, pod members cooperate to make large waves that wash seal from ice flows. Wash seals from ice flows. Here's another video of that happening. So orcas will work. It's very clear in this video how they're working together. They are literally side by side, swimming together up to an ice block with seals on it. And they swing their tails all together and make a huge wave that goes over the ice chunk so that the seals fall off into the water, and then they eat the seal.
It's crazy that they learned those physics.
Nuts?
Yeah.
Like, how do they communicate that to each other? It's just incredible. They're so interesting.
So smart.
So smart. Incredible animals. Terrible way to go.
Yep.
Ruthless. I've also seen videos of them like throwing seals.
They'll play with them
high into the air. They will kill seals and throw them out of the water. It is a terrible, terrible.
Or like there's a pelt like that's just left, like a little bit left, and they'll like pass it back and forth between members.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eric Rivas, who's a marine biologist, also, well, from 2018 to 2024, they have also observed orcas hunting whale sharks, which is evil because whale sharks
aren't doing anything.
Not that seals do anything wrong either, but it's just like everybody loves whale sharks. Like, what do you mean? They're so cool. They're so cute.
And they're huge.
Yeah, they're huge.
But like they're able to rip flesh off of it?
Well, okay, so a marine biologist, Eric Rivas, said, "We show how orcas displayed a collaborative hunting technique on whale sharks characterized by focusing on attacking the pelvic area, causing the whale shark to bleed out, and allowing orcas to access the lipid-rich liver." There was one individual was engaged in 3 or 4 of events alongside other members who might belong to a pod specialized in hunting sharks. So they have like specialized hunting niches within these pods, which is incredible.
Cool.
So they all work together. They hit the whale shark to turn it upside down. We have some pictures. If you don't want to see them, don't look at them. They hit the whale shark to turn it upside down. And then the shark enters tonic immobility, which is where they just can't really move voluntarily or escape voluntarily. And then the orcas can hit it in the pelvic area and extract organs that are of nutritional importance to them. So they kind of just take turns whacking the heck out
It
of
looks like
the
a
whale shark
younger whale shark, a little bit
until
smaller.
it dies.
Yeah, that's a really bad way to go because you're just eating
just a bunch of blunt force trauma by a team of killer whales.
Yeah, and you're just like floating along the sea,
Until
just
you
like minding
bleed
your own
out.
business, eating like small crust like krill and
Krill.
stuff. And then you just
Plankton.
get bombarded in the gut.
Yeah, brutal. But
Yep.
again, remember, whale sharks have never killed people in the wild. They have no interest in doing that. We have found lots of welfare issues with, sorry, not whale sharks, killer whales. We found lots of welfare issues with killer whales being in captivity. Killer whales have killed people in captivity because they have a lot of very intricate social needs. They have massive space needs, and they're just things that we cannot accommodate for in captivity. So not an animal that does well in captivity, shouldn't be in captivity, and you know, we've had some pretty severe consequences for that. Nothing near what killer whales have had in terms of consequences, but
Sure.
you don't have to be afraid of them, but just know that they're pretty brutal.
I was gonna maybe do dolphins.
Yeah,
because like they do
crazy
stuff. They do inficide as well,
Mhm.
and they'll attack people too. Like I've seen those, and I'm like, I'm okay. Like they're unlikely to attack people, but like,
Dude,
I just don't want to go in the water with.
When I was in the Amazon, we were in the Amazon River, and we were swimming with pink river dolphins, and the Rio Negro is dark.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing.
Yeah,
you cannot see anything
right
under you.
And
then I don't know if you know what pink river dolphins look like.
Yeah.
You do, right?
Yeah, I've seen
like
they're gnarly looking.
Coming out on the sides of you and you don't know that they're there,
Right.
and they have crazy teeth. That was nuts. I'm good on that. Peace and love. I think those are awesome animals, but like that's crazy and like super dangerous.
I could not get in that water. I'm fine scuba diving because I feel way safer being underneath, but on the surface of the water, I'm good. I feel like I'm respected as another fish underwater. And like I feel like I can defend against most things that come after me.
Yeah.
Kind of like you defend like against a dog that kind of gets a little aggressive with you.
Yeah.
But like on the surface, I'm good.
Not just life jackets and getting bumped in the legs by pink river dolphins.
I would be happy to watch from a distance. So I saw Jaws at an early age that ruined me for the ocean.
Oh.
So I was terrified.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been able to see that. So
anyway, they didn't do anything.
Right. Well, I'm going to talk about Burmese pythons. So we've talked about Burmese pythons before in episode 29. So you can go back and listen to that if you're interested in it. And I kind of want to talk about how they eat things alive. It is very, very brutal. And I want to say there's going to be some videos talking about how invasive the Burmese pythons are to the Everglades, but it's not their fault.
Yeah.
They're just trying to live their lives.
Yeah.
Granted, it's destroying everything and they do need to be eliminated, but it's not Burmese python's fault.
Yeah.
And they're not going to attack you in the wild. Snakes are your friends. Leave them alone. Give them plenty of distance. And some things we're going to talk about. It is the people's fault for this, not the snake's fault. So I want to watch this news report with you first about some Burmese pythons, or one in particular.
Okay.
A plot out of a horror film. Very large reptiles already capable of doing damage may be more dangerous than anyone thought. This is what's playing out in Florida. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more.
Scientists in Florida are sounding the alarm over what they're calling a wildlife issue of our time.
It feels like we caught the serial killer in action.
A new study finds invasive Burmese pythons in South Florida, which can grow to 18 feet long, are able to open their jaws wider than previously thought, making them capable of swallowing native deer and alligators whole.
These are things you don't see every day.
This jaw-dropping video shows a 115-pound snake doing just that. Its jaws stretched around a 77-pound white-tailed deer.
For us biologists, this was the most intense thing.
So they go on to talk about how it's just decimating the population and they're eating their way through the Everglades. But 110-pound snake eating a 77-pound deer. And so you're thinking to yourself.
Me telling people, they don't really eat things that are larger than the biggest portion of their body.
Well, this is new. Like this came out like not so long ago.
I still am going to say that though. I think I'm still going to say They generally don't want to eat anything larger than the biggest portion of their body.
I think that's
That's
it
not
for
lying.
most snakes.
Yeah.
I would say these are the exception.
Okay.
So I was thinking to myself, all right, that deer, like it has to be hit by a car. Like
It was alive?
it's the only way like it could catch it. It's not going to catch a deer. They're so fast. Have you seen how fast deer are? Like I couldn't catch a deer. But then I saw this video on Facebook.
I could catch a deer.
No, you couldn't.
I think I could.
If it was in a cage, sure.
Yeah, not in the wild. I'm not
Yeah, that's what I'm
walking up
thinking.
to it.
Yeah. So here's the Facebook video. A woman is trying
Oh
to
my
beat
gosh.
a snake off of the deer. I'm like, this deer's hit by a car.
Respectfully, don't do this.
And the deer was alive. It was a
Okay.
fawn.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
A big fawn.
That's crazy. I had a woman
Huge.
call a wildlife rehab center one time, and she was like, I see a snake and it's eating a rabbit. How do I help the rabbit? And I was like, ma'am, that's just how that works.
Right.
This is a wildlife rehab center. That's just, there's nothing wrong happening here. I'm so sorry. Just walk away.
Yeah.
She wanted to like kill the snake and then bring the rabbit in for rehabilitation. I was like, nah,
No.
it's not really what we do.
That's how nature works. I would, with these being Burmese pythons, I'm like, okay, like
Right. Different.
a
Yeah.
little bit different. But yeah, you normally just let them eat their meal.
That's crazy.
So like, yeah, if we get snakes that come into like the chicken enclosures, like we let them eat the eggs and
Yeah.
then go on their way. Like no big deal for us.
Quiz time.
Quiz time.
Pop quiz.
Speaking of fears, having an extreme fear of animals is known as what type of anxiety?
Zoophobia.
Yes.
I made that
Nice. Okay.
I didn't
That's
know that
good.
was a thing.
All right. Very nice. So when brutally eaten alive, if they're not killed by constriction, they will die of suffocation / asphyxiation inside the snake's stomach.
Mm-hmm.
I did look at some research that confirmed that's what happened before they would get killed by the acid, the stomach acid.
Okay.
So that's
Suffocation.
suffocation.
Good.
That's good at least. Yeah.
Mhm.
So here is a news report about a snake. Okay, I need to preface this real quick. So this is the fault of the parents, and it's sad that it happened. But it is important to talk about
Yeah.
why you shouldn't have a pet snake, especially 100-pound snake. This family had a 100-pound snake in their house, and they had a 2-year-old, and they didn't properly secure the snake's enclosure. The snake got out, and here's just a Reuters article in 2009 about a pet python killing a Florida toddler, and got out. The 12-foot, 3.6-meter albino Burmese python escaped the tank and tried to eat the girl. So
Didn't eat her though, just strangled the kid.
Yep.
Wow.
So you shouldn't have kids with those big snakes, or if you do, really shouldn't have big snakes in general, but make sure you lock them up. And then the last thing, the last animal I have here, it's a quick one.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking like, all right, what else is the most brutal? And eaten alive, it was definitely right up there. And so I was like, oh my God, ants. Ants will eat things like that are like barely alive.
Army ants and stuff, the swarms are scary.
Mm-hmm.
I would hate to be anything small enough for that.
I've seen I've dispatched a few amphibians that were getting eaten by
Yeah.
ants. Let the ants still have their meal, but put them out of his misery. But here's a time lapse video of some ants eating a lizard.
I don't want to.
It's a dead lizard.
Oh, okay.
It's already dead.
Saved.
It was like someone's pet
Okay.
that like just passed away. So it only took them a few hours to remove everything and take it down to the bone. Describe what you're seeing, Maya.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have probably seen like a dead lizard on the road covered in ants. It's that. It's like a lizard that you can't see the body anymore. Wow! They're just stripping it to the bone. What kind of ants are these? Do you know?
No, I didn't say in the
They're
description.
carrying the bones away, and
Yep.
it is just like fully a skeleton.
Yep. It's a
I've only
super
seen
clean
those with
skeleton.
those beetles. I didn't know
Carrion
that.
beetles. or
Yeah, I
something?
didn't know that they did this with ants.
This is cool.
That's incredible.
This is a cool way to strip all the meat off, so you could like pin the bones and
Yeah,
build like
that's
a structural
sick.
skeleton. out
It's
of it.
literally just a spine with a lizard skull on it. That's
Nothing left.
incredible.
and they took some of the bones off. I bet they could eat like some of the smaller bones.
What a dope time lapse.
Yeah, really cool. It's 17 years old.
Claps to whoever did that. Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, I was thinking like it's just horrible watching that stuff happen. But the world, the animal world's beautiful. Like with the eagle cams that I have, like there is life and there's death. Thankfully, there's more life than death. But
yeah,
it's hard telling people that have been watching these eaglets for I don't know, 90 days from egg to almost fledging, for them to just succumb to natural things or like rodenticides and stuff like that.
Right.
Stuff like that we can't protect against.
Right.
And it is brutal, but it makes you so much more thankful when a fledge actually happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you realize like a lot of wild animals don't make it out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and one of the eaglets that did pass away, we watched it decompose in the nest in 5 days. The beetles in Florida, carrion beetles just came in there and took it away. I went back to the nest. I couldn't find a single thing. The bones were gone too.
It's incredible.
So it returns back to nature. Nature in that way, it is beautiful.
Yeah.
So
check out Window to Wildlife if you want to watch some birds of prey live on camera 24/7. Very cool.
Thanks.
To get a glimpse into wildlife that way. I think one of the cool things about an episode like this and talking about how brutal nature is one of the greatest things about humanity is that we have like the privilege and ability to be really kind.
Yeah.
And like to do more to help people and help animals that otherwise would succumb to nature in very brutal natural ways. And how cool is it that we have the ability to do more and we have the ability to do good things for conservation. We have the ability to help animals and help nature and help plants and help each other. A lot of animals don't have that luxury, but we do. So hopefully we use that to our advantage and
we do more of it.
We do more of it. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I hope that you enjoyed it. We are going to go film on the Patreon. So if you want to check us out over there, see you over there. This month, by the way, Connor and I will be drawing sketches and we will be sending them to 2 very lucky tier 3 members on our Patreon. So go over there and check it out if you haven't already. It's a good month to do so.
Awesome.
Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.